Hi, today is Wednesday, March 14th. I think March 13th. Wait a minute. Yes, March 13th, 2024. I got home and I'm just lying on the floor with my belly touching the floor. I'm going to read this article real quick and be more knowledgeable and also be confident with my pronunciation. I would like to speak good English just like a native speaker or Israeli uh, citizen or the Norwegian citizen. They speak good English even though they are not an American or native speaker either. So I'm going to read these to become a very perfect on English pronunciation. Here we go. Definition: one-time password, OTP. I didn't know what OTP stood for, uh, but this is one-time password, right? One-time password, Kathleen Richards, Ivy Wigmore. Wigmore, right? What is a one-time password? OTP. A one-time password OTP is an automatically generated numeric or alphanumeric string of characters that authenticates a user for a single transaction or login session. An OTP is more secure than a static password, especially a user-created password, which can be weak and reused across multiple accounts. OTPs might replace traditional authentication login information or may be used in addition to it to add another layer of security. Another layer of security. That's a very common expression to say that they enhanced another step in their authentication or authorization. One layer of security, right? One-time password examples: OTP security tokens, microprocessor-based smart cards, or pocket-sized key fobs that produce a numeric or alphanumeric code to authenticate access to the system or transaction. Fobs, right? Pocket-size key fobs. Pocket-size key fobs. This secret code changes every 30 to 60 seconds depending on how the token is configured. Mobile device apps such as Google Authenticator rely on the token device and PIN to generate the one-time password for two-step verification. Two-step verification. OTP security tokens can be implemented using hardware, software, or on demand. Unlike traditional passwords that remain static or expire every 30 to 60 seconds, the one-time password is used for one transaction or login session. How to get a one-time password? When an unauthenticated user attempts to access a system or perform a transaction on a device, an authentication manager on the network server generates a number or a shared secret using one-time password algorithms. The same number or algorithm are used by the security token on the smart card or device to match and validate the one-time password end user. Many companies use a short message service, SMS, to provide a temporary passcode via text for a second authentication factor. The temporary passcode is obtained out of band through cell phone communications after the user enters his username and password on a networked information systems and transaction-oriented web applications. Let me read one more time. Many companies use a short message service, SMS, to provide a temporary passcode via text for a second authentication factor. The temporary passcode is obtained out of band through cell phone communications After the user enters his username and password on networked information systems and transaction-oriented web applications. So out of band here means that it's like via wireless when you are on the wired method. Out of band or via a different path. For two-factor authentication 2FA, the user enters a user ID, traditional password, and temporary passcode to access the account or system. Two-factor authentication. Pick any two. Something you know, something you have, something you are. Username, passcode. OTPs can be one authenticating factor in two-factor authentication. How one-time password works. In OTP-based authentication methods, a user's OTP app and the authentication server rely on shared secrets. Values for one-time passwords are generated using the following factors in conjunction with one another. HMAC, or hash-based message authentication code algorithm. A moving factor such as time-based information, for example, a time-based OTP, TOTP, or an event encounter that tracks the number of authorization attempts, for example, HMAC-based OTP, HOTPs. Time-based OTPs, TOTP, HMAC-based OTP, HOTPs. Hash-based message authentication code. The OTP values their minute or second timestamps for greater security. The one-time password can be delivered to a user through several channels, different bands, right? Through several channels, including an SMS-based text message, an email, or a dedicated application on the endpoint. Security professionals have long been concerned that SMS message spoofing and man-in-the-middle attacks can be used to break 2FA systems that rely on one-time passwords. The U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, considered deprecating SMS for 2FA and one-time passwords in 2016. Deprecating SMS, deprecate, right? You just take a shit, right? Shitting SMS for 2FA and one-time passwords in 2016. Ultimately, however, the organization decided that while using SMS as a second authentication factor is not the most secure option, it is more effective than single-factor authentication. Okay, so 2FA is not considered as the most secure option, but it's more effective than single-factor authentication. Experts such as those at NIST recommend enterprises consider one-time password delivery methods besides SMS and avoid delivering OTPs via SMS to email addresses or VoIP numbers. Which cannot prove device possession. Benefits of one-time password. The one-time password avoids some common pitfalls of password security. With OTPs, IT administrators and security managers do not have to worry about composition rules, known bad and weak passwords, sharing of credentials, or reuse of the same password on multiple accounts and systems. Another advantage of one-time passwords is that they become invalid in minutes. In the case of TOTPs, time-based OTPs, or once they have been used, in the case of HOTPs. In this way, one-time passwords prevent attackers from obtaining the secret codes and reusing them. Editor's note. This article was written by Ivy Wigmore in 2014 and subsequently updated by Kathleen Richards. Tech Target editors revised it in 2023 to improve the reader experience. This was last updated in December 2023. This was last updated, right? This was last updated, adding another layer of security, OTP, right? TOTP, HOTP, right? One-time password, two-factor authentication, single-factor authentication, right? Security tokens, smart cards, Google authentication, OTP, right? OTP, two-factor, 2FA, right? 2FA. So let me see if I can have further two-factor authentication. What is the two-factor authentication and why is it used? Two-factor authentication, 2FA, sometimes referred to as, continue reading this article. Is that it? Damn. I don't have password, man. Identity provider, password spraying. Password spraying. What is password spraying? Password spraying is a cyber attack tactic that involves a hacker using a single password. Well, I'm really getting tired now, so I have to cut the shit out here and post it on YouTube and hit the sack. I feel like needing a lot of sleep these because I don't know, as you get old, you become tired really quickly and your brain goes dead. But there got to be some other reasons behind my early dozing off or my need to go to bed early. Maybe I'm sexually inactive, maybe too. But when opportunity arises, I would not go to the hesitance route. I'll just jump in and get it over with and have fun. What am I talking about? I feel drowsy. I'm out of my mind, not out of my band.